If you've been paying attention to the Battlefield community in the last few days, then you'll have noticed that there's a lot of talk going on right now around the patch note draft that has been put up on Reddit, as well as the announcement of the community test environment. Now, I personally never had experience with the CTE in Battlefield 4, because frankly, I hated that game and I sold it within 18 hours of playing because it was garbage at launch. Now, the community test environment, what it really did is it allowed DICE to fix the problems that they had. They were able to get the community involved in testing patches, making sure everything was good to go before rolling changes into the live game. And I'm actually pretty excited about seeing the CTE come into Battlefield 1. I think there's a lot of phenomenal opportunity for DICE to do some really cool things by getting community involvement in feedback before they release patches. That way we don't end up with situations like the mortar nerf that ended up getting rolled back later on, because we can have the mortars being tested in the CTE to see whether or not it's a good patch. And by the time it gets out into the public, it should be significantly more stable. Doesn't mean everything is going to be perfect. There will certainly be continuous changes throughout the life of this game, but it's overall going to be pretty darn phenomenal. And one of the things that they talked about kind of on the side channels of all of this communication is the updates that are going to be coming to the server rental program. If you're not familiar with that, it basically allows you to rent a server from DICE so that you can run your own custom games. There's a lot of community talk about how Battlefield 1's current server rental program is frankly pathetic in comparison to even what they would consider a base level of features. You don't have things like ban and kick. You don't have things like password protection. You can't do a lot of the things that people need to be able to do inside of the servers that they are renting so that they can lock it down, play the game they want with the people they want. DICE has said, however, that they plan on the Battlefield 1 server rental programming going far beyond what they did in Battlefield 4, which has a lot of people wondering, wow, okay, this is going to be really cool, but what can they do? Because, I mean, the Battlefield 4 server rental program was kind of the gold standard for what was going on with server rentals at the time. Here's the thing, though. I'm personally of the opinion that DICE has already shown us a significant number of options that they will have in the upcoming patches for the server rental program. Now, I'm not going to claim when this is going to happen. Maybe it'll happen in the February patch, maybe in the March DLC, maybe later on. But I can almost guarantee you that the code that DICE has put into this game for the custom game modes that they are releasing is what's going to end up in the server rental program. Think about it for a moment. I'm a software developer in my professional life. It's what I do. I've been writing code for 25 years. I have a pretty fair understanding of the kind of code you need to write in order to introduce the options that they've put into the custom game modes. And when you think about the custom game modes for a moment, what have they had? They've had Fog of War, Back to Basics, Eye to Eye, Line of Sight. There's all kinds of game modes out there. The Bleed Out. There's a lot of different options that they've put into these games where you can control the weather, control the weapons that are available, limit people to not having heavy tanks and heavy weaponry, no planes, extra vehicles on the ground, faster respawn times. There's all these options that they've put into the game already for these custom game modes. And in order to do that, well, they had to write code. They had to create those options in the game itself. There's simply no way for DICE to give us those custom game modes without already having the code in place to let other people set those custom options. So, I think DICE is going to be releasing some massive updates for the server rental program to include, ban and kick and password protection and all those things that people want, but also to include a tremendous number of options for creating very creative custom game modes. And frankly, I'm hoping they give us control over maps. For example, I had a video a while back on Trench Warfare and the custom game mode that I want to see in Trench Warfare. I think DICE could allow us to get really darn close to my vision of trench warfare using a lot of different options in the custom game modes. Of course, this is all speculation. This is my opinion. I am not a developer with DICE. I am a software developer, however, so I do have a basic understanding of the kinds of code that they have to put in place in order to get these options, in order to get the custom game modes working. So I do believe that this is going to happen. We'll see though. We'll have to wait for the actual release of the server rental program updates in order to find out what DICE is really going to do. But I think it's a pretty good bet that what you're seeing in custom game modes is going to be in there. What do you think though? Do you think the custom game mode options are going to end up in there? Or what features do you really want to see in the server rental program? What else would you like to see DICE doing for Battlefield 1 in the future? Be sure to drop some love in the comments below to let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that thumbs up button if you like this video and you think this is a good idea that I've postulated here. And be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching and happy gaming.
Düşman makinalı tüfeği.